Hello, it is V, the rock and roll mystic. It's been a hot minute since I've been on and done a video. And there's a multitude of reasons for that. The big one being I just lost 2 weeks of my life being sick and in bed. So I'm getting a little better. You might hear a little bit of a congestion, but I am getting better and I'm coming back. Um, but I am back with another tap. Now, I know I had said that in my last video that I was going to do a heavier video, and I'll get there. I promise I'll get there. I just want to make sure that my thoughts are straight, that what I want to talk about, I have confidence that I'm using compassion in a lot of it because there is going to be a little bit of uh, maybe uh, not so common opinions. Um, but as I've been trying to collect my thoughts, this tag came across my feed, and it was originally done by Joanna the Polish Witch. I just started following her videos, so this is a new one, but she posted this on Instagram. And then she and Ella Harrison and Leah the Redheaded Witch decided to get together and get some community discussion going. And I am happy to oblige, even though I've only been here for a little while. And they want this to be a real conversation. So feel free to do this tag if you want. The tag is occult tea, as you can tell by the description below. And I will tag those 3 videos in the description so you can easily get to them. I know so far, maybe I'll even tag Lennon. Lennon Smith did this today. So those are the 4 that I've watched so far. And hopefully there will be many more for me to catch up on. Now, this is going to be a little bit longer. So grab yourself a cuppa and settle in. Maybe get a blanket, get all cozy, and listen to this weird little talking head on YouTube talking about occult tea. And and if it's too long, just put me on 1.5. I may sound really funny because I do typically talk a little fast, but it'll be fine. It'll be entertaining. Anyway, the this whole thing is going to be in 4 parts, plus an intro and plus a conclusion at the end. So I'm just going to get right into it, and hopefully I don't ramble too much because I already tried to record this and I was a rambling mess. So hello ADHD. So let's just get to it. The introduction. So introduce myself. I'm V. I'm the rock and roll mystic. Um, I am pretty new to the witchy space. I've only been doing it for a few months online. I pretty much consider myself a crystal witch because I've been working with crystals and doing a lot of energy facilitation with crystals and using them to heal and all that stuff for since 2010, so 2009, so about a decade and a half almost. um but the majority of my work in the past several years has been in the spirituality space. I am a pretty much a jack of all trades of energy facilitation. So I work with frequencies. I am a healing touch for animals practitioner. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm a certified law of attraction coach. I am I've been trained in healing touch for humans, anatomy for healers. I took one of those courses that was a kind of an offshoot from healing touch. Um, and Yeah, and I've been pretty much a business coach slash mentor to a group of ladies on Facebook. I was doing that for a few years. So that's kind of where my confidence level is. I'm good at that. And what really is witchcraft but energy facilitation? So I'm just moving into this new space where I'm having a hard time getting my roots down in myself. The identity of calling myself a witch has been difficult for me, even though deep in my heart, I know that's who I am. I've been called to do it. So it's not like I decided to explore it. But we'll get into some of those questions coming down. But that's pretty much an overview of who I am. The next question in the introduction is, what practices and topics do you discuss primarily? Pretty much, this is just me talking about my journey into this new arena. Now, I've been on YouTube for a really long time, not consistently. And I started a YouTube channel, I don't know, maybe 2017, 2018. It's under a different name, and it was more educational. And I used to do these animal spirituality um, kind of workshops, and that's where I put all of that stuff in. I will, well, I kind of hope to move all of that to this space, and kind of put it in a playlist so people can see. I mean, they're old videos, but the content is pretty timeless. Um, Seeing as though I've worked with animals for many years now, and I am the co-host and co-creator of the Animal Files podcast, where we expose the truth, science, and spirituality of pet care, and that you can find on all platforms. And that's been probably a big chunk of the last 3 years. We are starting our fourth season in just a couple weeks, so excited for that. But I think this channel is going to be a mishmash, focused primarily on my journey, but it may kind of flip into some of the other things that I have more confidence in, because my goal for myself is to take all of my spirituality knowledge and all of the things that I've collected for so many years and merge it with the witchy space, and truly start using energy facilitation in my life. So that's what this channel is going to be about. So that's that. I was pretty good. I wasn't too rambly. So yay. All right, so topic one is the impact on community. And each of these topics have several questions. That's why, I wanted you to kind of settle in. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a long one. The first question is, what is my personal reasoning / inspiration behind sharing my practice online? And I think I just basically said that. But ultimately it's kind of, maybe a video journal, a book of mirrors, not necessarily a book of shadows or grimoire, because I don't see myself sharing my practice, like spells and workings and stuff like that. That's really not what I want this space to be. Like I said, I want it to be that merging of spirituality and the witchy space, and trying to merge them, because they really are the same. So that's pretty much my reasoning behind sharing my practice, my journey online. Second question, what am I looking to achieve by participating? Do I seek to educate, learn, or connect? I think a little bit of everything. I know I'm a consumer, so I have luckily been able to find superb creators online, and some that I truly, truly respect for their knowledge, their practice, and their experience. So I do plan on learning. I one of the things that I have I'm developing in my own like spirituality side of my craft is the idea of divine humanness. So if I could teach that at some point, then that would be like a big win, because I really want everybody to know um, that because they are human, they are divine. In this space we talk about deities and stuff like that, and I've worked with them. I don't worship or anything like that, and I've mentioned that in other videos. But we are divine too. And we can't forget that that's where our power comes from, because we are spiritual beings living a human experience. We're not humans trying to be spiritual. So that right there opens the door to an immense amount of energy that we can channel if we just remove the blocks, the conditionings, all of that stuff that we, learn as we move through our lives. Um, and obviously, connection is really important to me. So, again, all three. I am a solitary witch. I am trying to find community connections here locally, in where I live in New York, and that's starting, but it's not in the witchy space. It's more in the women supporting women and talking about the things that we deal with on a regular basis. And so I'm trying to build that, and that's like the last Monday of every month at my local, you know, magic shop. So that's hopefully that's gonna be good. But I stay in my house all the time. I don't have any, well, I'm not saying I don't. I have a couple in real life friends that, well, not in real life, because everything is real life, but in person friends that I can physically touch and see and hang out with and go have, lunch or whatever. But majority of my friendships are have been online, and I've been blessed to be able to meet some of them in person, which has been such a boost to the friendships that I've developed, and the amazing friendships. My best friend I just met for the first time in October, and I've been friends with her almost 7 years now. So um, she was an online friend. I have several other close friends that I really, really, really treasure them. And I've never met them in real life. So, or in person. I keep saying in real life. He is real life. Yeah, Victoria. But no, in person. So community is really important. And I really love the fact that so far the community here on YouTube has been really, really, really welcoming and just really open and accepting. And that's been a wonderful thing. So, yes, that's what I seek on doing this journey: learning, educating, and connection, the whole gamut. Right. How do I believe social media as a whole has impacted the community? Um, sure entirely. I have seen some people, at least in the spirituality, there's so many fake people in the spirituality sphere. Um, and I have been, like I said, lucky to find a lot of people in the in this particular community that is extremely welcoming. Um, so since my life is online, I would say social media has a huge impact, at least in my life, of helping me create connections with this community and with the other communities that I'm a part of. It can affect when you have the more less intentioned people that try to infiltrate um, this community and my other communities. And that's really upsetting. And I think the one thing that I think social media has done, not only does it bring people together, but I think as a whole, in the consumption of social media, I think that it has diminished our capacity as a human society to be able to focus. Everything is this quick things, shorts and reels and scrolling and little mini blogs on like Twitter and threads and stuff like that. Now, there's a benefit to all of it. I am not dissing it entirely, but I think it has had a huge impact in um, our focus, especially in the younger generations, because that's all they know. Now, myself and being a Gen Xer, we never had this stuff before. I mean, I had my first computer was in 1995. Um, I was already 25 years old. So, you know, I know what it's like, and many of us Gen Xers know what it's like to not have social media and to be stuck to um, the wall trying to talk to our friends on the phone, dialing a rotary phone, you know, these things. Um, so we can, think, I think my own personal opinion that my generation, the Gen Xers, we either avoid social media or we only use small portions of it because it we know what it's like to connect offline. Um, Now that's just my personal opinion. I know there are plenty of people out there that have very, very full lives online that are in my generation. And I also know people who want nothing to do with social media. But I think our younger generations are being impacted because of the fast tempo of social media, the short attention spans that you need to, you know, sit there and scroll through reels all day long. So I think it has impacted in a lot of ways. And the one thing that I think social media does is it has turned into, it's gone from being a way to connect with family and friends to a way to escape from life. And that's not everybody, obviously, but I'm noticing even in myself when I'm in ADHD paralysis or I'm having a hard time focusing. Um, I find myself mindlessly flipping through photos and I find myself mindlessly watching all of the videos that are on my feed. Like, and I think that um that doesn't help me in me trying to work with my brain. I know it's good for me to kind of be able to shut off for a little bit if I'm just overwhelmed because, you know, any of you neurodivergent people out there, any of you guys with ADHD know that this never shuts off. So sometimes, you know, social media can help you shut that off. And so there's a little bit of a benefit, but overall, I think social media has both good and bad, and you know, finding balance is kind of what I'm trying to do in that, so it doesn't impact me too much. How do I think social platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube have impacted education, sharing information? I think I kind of answered that, but I'm going to add something that I do not use TikTok. I will never use TikTok. And if anybody asks me if they should join TikTok, I would say no. Not because of the platform itself, but because of the company who owns it. Um, TikTok and Temu are malware, basically. You download the app and it's a data mining thing. So they're, and I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I'm very, very, very active in, I think I spend about, well, I don't want to kind of call myself out, but many, many, many hours learning about socioeconomic issues, global socioeconomic issues, and Temu or Temu, however you want to pronounce it, and TikTok are big data mining apps, and I will never use them. So, you do you, but I could never, in good conscience, allow those apps to go onto my devices. So just to get off the table, I think that I answered the question, this question in my original one. It, I guess the one thing I will add in regards to education, sharing information, I think it's fine. I mean, we all like to connect and we all like to share what we are doing, and that's fine and dandy. But I think as far as education is concerned, I think there's a lot of um, true imposters, because there's a question in here about imposter syndrome, but I mean true imposters and people who use social media as a way to basically not maybe just data mine, but to mine money from their followers. And I don't trust a lot. I have to use a lot of discernment when I am scrolling through a lot of the social media platforms. All right. So the next question, and this is the last question, the first topic. Is consuming witchcraft content becoming a substitute for practice? I don't think so, because I'm new and the witchy content that I follow has inspired me more. So I have done things that I probably wouldn't have done if I didn't watch witchy content on YouTube. So I don't think it is becoming a substitute. I don't think it ever will. Um, because I do like the doing. So if I get inspired by somebody, I will experiment. So it actually, because this never shuts off, sometimes watching witchy content helps me uh, put another, Rolodex card in my Rolodex in my brain. And then I can pull it out when I want to do working. So I don't think I don't think it will ever be a substitute, unless I'm in an ADHD paralysis, and then I'll just mindlessly watch videos and hope that I get inspired. So I guess that's the best way to answer that question. Now, topic 2 is influencer authenticity. And I know I touched on this a little bit, but we got a couple questions here. Out of what I share on social media, how much of it is stage versus reality? Uh, it's all reality because I'm just a talking head. I'm not doing workings on camera. I'm not doing um anything that I would have to stage. Um, I sit in my cluttered office and talk to y'all. So that's that's just me. My friends will probably tell you I'm kicking the camera. I apologize. Well, it's not really a camera, it's my computer. And will tell you that this is me. I am animated. I am rambly. I go on tangents. It's just me. And this is how my room looks all the time. Um, so yeah, this is authentic. I don't stage anything. Um, I mean, I don't see myself doing that at all. And I don't think I want to. This as this is basically my journal in a sense for myself. I'm just gonna be me because I will reach me better than a staged me. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. All right. So the second question, do I think there is an element of censorship in online spaces? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Not coming from me. Well, no, I can't say that. No, I lie because there are some things that I just won't say because I don't want to um, draw in the trolls. I don't want to, I'm not good at confrontation. Um, and I don't want to, I guess, stir the pot when it doesn't need to be stirred. So, like I said, I do follow a ton of socioeconomic news globally, and there's a lot of that stuff that I may talk about, but I'm never going to put myself as an authority, and I will keep my opinions out of it because I have very strong opinions, but my opinion is not going to change your opinion. So in that aspect, I do censor myself. Um, um, the algorithms, I think, do the censoring for me. I mean, my partner and I with the animal files, we are gonna try to come on to the on YouTube, and we had a conversation about some of the things that we talk about because we're exposing the truth, science, and spirituality of pet care, and not all that's pretty. And so she is a little concerned. I'm a little concerned too. Um, but I think if we stay objective, we should be okay. But I know that on certain platforms, if you say, this word or that word, they will. I don't necessarily believe in shadow banning, but they just won't. If the algorithm sees that word in your stuff, um, I think that it won't be shown to people. So I definitely think there's censorship. And I think there has to be. I think and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think censorship to a point is good. Especially on social media, because there's a lot of baddies out there that who will post things crazy. If you ever, I don't recommend this, but if you have ever been on Telegram or Rumble, some of the stuff on those platforms are horrific and will get you completely banned from YouTube if you aired them. And I don't think that stuff needs to be seen. I actually won't even look at somebody's Instagram post if there's a thing that says sensitive content. I just won't do it. Um, Even if it's just, say, maybe a surgery scar. I don't need to see somebody's surgery scar. Um, so I think a certain level of censorship is good. I don't think it should be umbrella censorships. But unless it's like, child pornography or pornography in general or something like that. But I think with social media being such a widely used medium, and you have um, kids that sneak around all the different limitations, and somebody's darker content is being seen by a 12-year-old that's defying its parents. I don't think that's a good thing. So I think censorship in those cases are good. I mean, I think a lot of us will say like not for kids on the YouTube thing. And I think that's a start. I know when I did my unboxing of Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil, the 40th anniversary box set, I I age I put the age limit on because I don't think 10 or 12-year-old needs to be seeing, you know, spirit boards and, you know, shout at the devil. I just don't think that that's appropriate. Let them get a little bit older and realize how awesome the band is, but a 10-year-old shouldn't see that. So yeah, so that's my rambly version of thing. I think censorship is important, and I do it to myself, and I kind of like a certain level of it when as a consumer on social media. Long-winded answer. A lot of these are long-winded. I'm sorry, but my cat doesn't shut off. Okay, so um, how do I decipher what is appropriate to share online versus what to keep privately? Um, well, hello, cat. Um, do you want to say hi to the people? You want to say hi to the people? Let's say hi to the people. Just say hi to the people. This is Abby, everybody. We rescued her. She's a tabby point Siamese. Look at her beautiful blue eyes. I think she wants me to stop talking and spend time with her. But this is my little girl. We've had her since November. All right, so back to the question. How do I decipher what's appropriate to share online versus what to keep privately? I just use discernment. Do you need to know certain things about my private life? Probably not. And do I want to share? Probably not. Um, Again, I don't do workings or anything like that. And, I tend to wear my life on my sleeve, so to speak. Um, but yeah, I'll just in the moment, I'm like, maybe that's not a good thing to say. Um, and that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Maybe I won't say it that way. So I think I just use discernment. That's what I do. Um, and the second part of that question is this based on social media etiquette or personal preference? Personal preference. I mean, there is a certain level of etiquette, obviously, because we are humans trying to connect with other humans. But it's personal preference for me. I choose to do that. Have I ever encountered or heard of grifters in our computing? Oh, heck yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. There are so many grifters out there. Um, I've had my magic shop. I swear for a while there, I think every week I was getting another spam or another scammer that was trying to pretend to be them. Um, and I'm sorry, you don't mess around with magic shops and witches. I just don't. But they kept doing it over and over again. And the first time I saw it, I just instinctively like, oh, I thought I followed them because I've been going to them. And then I clicked and then immediately jumped on my DM. And they even spoke similarly to one of the people that work in the shop. And I was like, yeah, that's not who I think it is. And I block and report them all the time. There are a lot of grifters, and even in this, I think more so I've seen, or at least I've interacted more, or not interacted, but come across more grifters in the spirituality realm. There's a lot of people who don't walk their talk and just want money because it's an easy buck for a lot of people. If they have their, if they know their algorithms and they know how to manipulate people. Yeah, there's an awful lot of crap out there in the spirituality space. So even though I haven't encountered that quite yet in the witchy space, because I tend to only follow the people that I follow on YouTube and I trust you guys. So I haven't come across that in the witchy space. But yeah, heck yeah, there are lots of grifters out there. Um and so the next part of that question is, do I recognize them? Almost entirely. I have a pretty high BS meter. So discernment is my key tool when navigating social media. It doesn't matter what space I'm in. I can tell if pretty about 99.9% of the time I can tell when somebody's lying to me, even if they're not in my face. Like, they can be just posting something and not even directed to me, and I can say that's a lie. Like, I have a really high BS meter. So I can recognize them a mile away. And what are significant signs of grifters in the community? I think I just mentioned that people jumping into your DMs. I always check the what do you call it? The username. Because they try to, they always try, you've seen it. They try to use the same username, but it's like they'll use an what do they use? Like they just use, like, they'll put like a dot, or they'll spell something wrong, or they're just missing one. If there's two L's and something, they'll take the one L out. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's pretty easy to check the red flags. And then the first thing I do is I go and I'll check the like, if somebody friends me or follows me, I immediately type in the name that I think, to see if I'm still following them, and then I know it's a fake. So that's that. All right. So the next question: what tools are helpful to decipher misinformation? And how can we as a community prevent widespread misinformation? Honestly, this is an easy one. Gotta hone your intuition. You need to have discernment. Intuition and discernment are your best friends. And always, always, when it comes to social media, your first thought or your first question should be, is this real? And if it is, fine. If it's not, yeah, move away. You can do a truth test. There's lots of, like, muscular things that you can do to truth test to see if it's real. But yeah, intuition and discernment, those are your best friends, and that's what you need to use. You cannot blindly use social media and not have discernment or intuition. You just can't, especially in the spirituality space, in the witchy space. It's just, yeah, if you have not honed your intuition, I would suggest that you get a book and do exercises to help hone your intuition, because that's going to be your best friend. That's how. Those are your tools. I mean, there's visual cues, like I said, with the name, and always search out the person first before you accept or follow back or anything like that. Don't automatically think that somebody's refriending you or refollowing you. And if you know the person, reach out and said, I think somebody is trying to spam your friends list or whatever. I see this more on Facebook and Instagram, but just reach out, ask them, did you send me something? Obviously, they'll probably say no, and then you can block and report the person. All right, so how does a large following impact the perception of the creator? In general, if you're not using discernment or intuition, you can think that these people are credible. But in actuality, no, no. I don't think a large following at least doesn't impact me. It amazes me sometimes. There are some creators on YouTube that are not in the witchy space that have like 8 million views or followers or subscriptions, but they've been on YouTube for like 14 years. So that makes a little bit of sense. Now if it's somebody who's only been on YouTube for 5 years and has 8 million, then they're buying subscribers. So I really don't put a lot of I don't really put a lot of what's the word? Credibility just because you have big numbers. I just don't. Now, if I see you grow really fast and you have quality content, then I know you probably know your stuff. But if you're just growing really fast and your content's kind of blah, then I know you're either playing the algorithm or you bought subscribers. So I don't really take high subscribers as a measure of credibility. So I just answered that the next question, which is, does this immediately make them an expert, or are there other assumptions as to why they may have a large following? I think I just answered that. All right, so next question. This is the last one in this section. How does one maintain the balance of authenticity and content creation? I think my cat has zoomies. She's running back and forth. I'm hearing her outside the room. All right, so let me do that again. Distraction squirrel. How does one maintain the balance of authenticity and content creation? I think it's your intent. What do you want out of your, I mean, I have no plans on making money off of this. If it happens, great. If it's one, but I have a minuscule amount of followers. I think I'm at 39 followers. Woo, big following. But that doesn't, I don't I don't use numbers as a measure of my credibility. So I'm new. I've only been on YouTube doing this for a few months. So it is what it is. That being said, if you like what I do, follow me. I'd love to have you in my community. Like, notifications, do all that stuff. I'm really bad at that stuff. But anyway, so I think if your intent is what's going to help you balance that between content creation and authenticity. Because I think even if a content creator that I follow is staging a working, that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't trust that they're being authentic. So, I don't know if that's, are there people on YouTube that probably are inauthentic and doing things that, I don't, I wouldn't trust? Probably. Have I followed them? No. Do I see their videos? No. So, I don't, I just don't think, I think if your intent is pure, if you're trying to do this as a job, but doing, well, at least in the witchy space, I think, at least what I've encountered, I think I don't think there needs to be a balance, because everybody I'm following and watching, there is authenticity to them, whether they're doing stage workings or not. Because if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't be following you. So that's just, again, high BS meter. So yeah, so that's that. So for me, I don't need to, because I'm not a content creator, even though what technically I am. I just sit and talk. So I'm authentic. This is me. This is me playing with my dirty hair, wearing pajamas. This is me. Right. So next topic 3. And if I knew how to put these in chapters, I would, but I don't know how to do that yet. So just bear with me. If you need to slide the thing, come back later. That's fine. I know this is long and rambly. Um, but this next one is something that I think a lot of us deal with, and I know I do a lot in almost all of my spaces, and that's imposter syndrome and FOMO. More so imposter syndrome. So the first question, when I follow other creators in the community space, does it make me feel genuinely inspired and empowered, or does it create feeling of FOMO and being less than? Okay. I think it's a little bit of both. Only because, and I'll start with the FOMO part first, because it's not really a big deal. This room that I have, this is basically my everything room. It's my closet, it's my office, it's my recording studio, and it's where I have my altar space. And it's only 9 feet by 11 feet. It's really small. I don't have a lot of space. I have a lot of stuff, all of my coursework over the years, all of my stuff. I just have a lot of stuff, and I have a small house. So when I see some of um, these amazing creators, I I feel less than, and I feel like FOMO, like I need to have a bigger house. I want a witchy room. I want, like, so there's that aspect. Now, can I do anything about it at this moment? No. So the FOMO tends to be fleeting because I am more inspired than I have FOMO. Um, So like I don't have a space to do workings. Like if I when I work with my eggshells, I have to do it on dining room table. I don't have a designated space where I can do that. My kitchen, because of my ADHD, um, I have object impermanence, and um I I use a kind of a trick called point of performance. And what that means is, because I have object impermanence, if I don't see something, I forget I have it. So it doesn't get used. I don't I don't use it in cooking or whatever like that. So pretty much all of the spices I use all the time are out on the island. All of the foods that I eat regularly are all there. My vitamins are all there because it has to be visually in my field or I forget. And because of that, my small little kitchen in my small house is very cluttered. Now, eventually, do I want to have a house that I can have spaces where where I'm more spread out and I can do the point of performance things where I can have all the things I use regularly out in the open? I love that. But right now, I just have a cluttered kitchen. So when I see um some of these, kitchen witchery stuff, and I see people, in their kitchens. They don't even have to be like, remodeled fancy kitchens, but the space that they have, the fact that they have a working area. Yeah, I get a little bit of FOMO, but I can't do anything about it. So I just try to shift my brain into um, the inspiration space and use it, and then try to see what I can do with what I have where I am. So that's kind of my long-winded answer to that. Second question, if I experience FOMO, has it ever left me feeling vulnerable to be taken advantage of financially or otherwise? Not anymore. When I first got in the spirituality space, way back when, yes, but I got burned, and I got burned at the amount of $7,500, and never again. I don't make mistakes twice if I can help it. So, at this point, when I have the FOMO, I don't feel the need to go out and buy something from somebody. Or do I want to? Yeah, sure. But if I can't do it, I'm not going to um, drain my bank account because of FOMO. I made that mistake back in 2017, and never again. Never again. I will not do that. I don't feel vulnerable for being taken advantage anymore. Again, the high BS meter has gotten much more heightened since that happened. Now I kind of had that a little bit, but um, I was so needing a direction in my coaching, and I chose the wrong direction. That being said, I still gained a lot from that direction. I don't think we ever truly make mistakes. I think they're just lessons in disguise, and it's how you frame it. So I learned a lesson. I made a lot of great, I made a lot of great friends that are still my friends today. And I won't make those mistakes again. So a lot of benefit came out, and I wouldn't be the person I am today if that didn't happen. All right. So next question. Um, um, Actually, it was just an example would be the need to purchase the latest popular product to fit in. Nope. I've never fit in, never want to fit in. Um, I'd like to be accepted, but I think that's different. I think that's different. I'm weird. So I have had a lot of experience of not being accepted. And because of my ADHD, which wasn't diagnosed until my 30s, I didn't really have a lot of solid friendships growing up. I think I only had one really. Um, but that that is what it is. So I don't need to fit in. I kind of like being me and weird and wacky and just me. You know, I haven't fit in since I was a baby. I'm not going to fit in now. So I'm not going to try. I'm going to revel in my weirdness. Revel in my weirdness. All right, the next question. When practicing my craft, do I find myself comparing what I do to what I've been seeing people do online? Yes, but not in a degrading way. More or less, am I doing this correct? And then I'll question, okay, is my intuition guiding me for this? And then I try to make it my own. Um, but I do question because I'm new to the practice of witchcraft. Um, I don't know a lot. I'm a neophyte. So um, if I try it working and it doesn't work, then yeah, I kind of feel like um, comparing like why does it work for somebody else but not for me? Um, Case in point, every time I do an abundance or a money working, the money goes to my husband, doesn't come to me. And yes, that benefits me, but it also um, kind of upsets me and frustrates me in a little bit. It's like, because I can't figure out what block is stopping the money from coming directly to me and into my bank account, because I'm the one that has the bills. My husband pays my bills because I can't. They're my work bills. I should be paying for my work bills. I am trying to be a entrepreneur and a self-employed person. And that means that I have the responsibility to make my business work. And um, So that's kind of one of the things that, like, I see somebody doing the money working, and then something comes on. Now, granted, I don't take everything for gospel when I hear it, but I just see it not working for me. Now, is it because I have to do a different set of words, or is my energy, and like, I pick it apart a lot. Um, and so in that aspect, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Why does it work for them and doesn't work for me? Why does my husband get the money when I do a prosperity working? And why doesn't it come into my checking account? Why doesn't it come into my t-shirt shop? I have over 60 designs in my t-shirt shop. There's no reason why I can't sell a few t-shirts. Um, if the universe can do everything and I can create all the magic I want, what's blocking? So that, in that aspect, I get a little frustrated because I do compare myself. All right, the next one. In what ways do you combat imposter syndrome? I don't know. I guess the best thing that I do is either I talk to my friends, or I say my favorite quote of all time, and that is, do what you can with what you have from where you are. And that is basically how I combat, because I deal with imposter syndrome all the time. Again, I don't have a lot of success as a self-employed person. I have little drips and drabs and drips and drabs and drips and drabs. So I don't, even though, especially in the spirituality space, I mean, I'm good at what I do. I have performed miracles on animals, and with the tools that I use, I've been able to heal animal wounds, and I've been able to solve problems, that health problems in animals. And I'm a really good mentor, and I'm a really good helpful person, and I believe, and I've been told this, and at first it was, I had kind of imposter syndrome, but now I'm kind of sitting in that. When like, a friend of mine asks me questions, I am not the type of person to say, well, you need to do this, or you're not going to get this. Like, that's just not my way. What I'll do is, I might be a little snarky at first, because that's just me. I'm snarky. They're my friends. They understand that. But ultimately, I might ask a question, or I might give an experience, or something like that. And those are the things that become helpful to my friends. And I think I'm a really good support system for my friends. And that's because of, I'm good at what I do when it comes to the spiritual space. In the witchy space, I'm a neophyte. Like I said, I'm new. I yes, I've been working with crystals, and I've done wonders with crystals, and I've used crystals to heal myself for over a decade. But that's only a portion of the witchy space. That's only a small little portion. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be having a magic rocks shop, and crystals are a huge part of what I do. You can see my huge selenite palm stone here. I have other quartz things over here, all my crystals up there. I got crystals everywhere. I mean, if I have a problem collecting something and hoarding something, it's crystals. And crystal skulls. I have a lot of them too. Um, but when it comes to the witchy space, who am I? Who am I? I'm this little person. And I had kind of an issue, and I mentioned it before in other videos, that I have been attacked in my dreams, and I've been messed with, and I had to do kind of a compassionate return to sender, to kind of get it off me, and I have to do other little things to help me sleep, and help keep my dreams clear. Um, and I always say, I'm like, why me? I'm nobody. Now, granted, I'm Victoria. I'm somebody to me. I'm somebody to my husband and my family. I'm not saying that in a degrading way, like I'm not good enough. I'm saying that is, I'm a baby in this field. Why are you attacking me? I'm not doing anything to anybody except for trying to better my life. And they have to do everything they can to stop me from doing that. Um, and so I think because of that, and because I'm new when it comes to doing like this, I have to talk myself into it. Like, well, you might have something good to say, so just do it. Do what you can. Do what you can. Do what you can. Um, but yeah, I have a hard time with imposter syndrome, and the only way I get through it is just I do it. I think because I've done a lot of work on myself, I know I'm not a good speaker. I know words don't like to come out very much. I think the meanings of my words always come through. But being neurodivergent, it it's really hard for me to kind of have my brain work for me. And when it comes to things that I really feel passionate about, sometimes the words don't come. And then the imposter syndrome comes in. Like, nobody's going to listen to me. Why would they listen to me? When I tried to be a coach, why would they pay me to be their coach? Like, those were the questions that always came to me because I'm not, this is going to sound bad, but normal. I don't think normal. I don't speak normal. So yeah, again, another long-winded answer. Yeah, imposter syndrome is a big thing for me. And then the last question in this section is, what would my practice look like without the social media influence of other creators? I probably wouldn't have one outside of, well, no, in general, because everything I've done, it's all started online. It all started through social media. So I don't think I would be where I am or have accomplished what I have and do what I do without social media. I just don't think that would, I think I would probably just be one of those people that just trudges through life frustrated and trying to find joy in tiny little things and never really fully embracing my soul's purpose or my soul's mission. All of the work that I have done started because I read something or there was a meme that said something that made me think. And or somebody said they got a book and that it helped them. So I go and buy the book and then it helps me. So yeah, that's I would have no practice. I wouldn't have the inspiration to do any of this stuff. I wouldn't have the friends that I have. I wouldn't be in the circles I have. I wouldn't have the job I have. I wouldn't have the podcast I have. I wouldn't have the radio show I have. I wouldn't have any of the things that I have without social media. All right. Last topic before the conclusion. Capitalizing off community. Do I consider online communities as equally valid to in-person communities? Yes, very much so. I think I just explained it in the last thing, that I would not be where I am. I would not be the person I am. I would not have the friends that I do without online communities. It just would never have happened. So sometimes I consider the online communities more valid than my in-person communities because I really don't have that yet. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to build that. But that's not really there. I have a very vibrant and very full and very wonderful online life that is, to me, is just priceless, absolutely priceless. How have online occult witchcraft communities impacted me as a person and a practitioner? Um, well, basically, it helps inspire me. Because like I said, I did not go online and all of a sudden think, I see I see a meme. Maybe I should be a witch. That's not how it happened. I was told that that was me. Um, and I'm trying to step into that role. I'm trying to be the witch that I'm supposed to be. I go to these seances at my magic shop, and they're just basically gallery psychic readings, and I'm always told that you need to be a witch. So, or I need to be more witchy or something like that. Um, so yeah, it's kind of it's impacted me a lot. And being in this, my cat is playing out there and it's distracting me. I apologize. Um, the other way it's impacted me is, you know, I kind of jumped into this YouTube space doing tags. So I basically decided, well, if I'm going to be in this space, I'm going to jump in with both feet. So I started doing tags. And what I have noticed, I was just telling my friend today, you know, this community is so welcoming and it's so honest, at least the people that I have come across. And I kind of do this thing where, like, I found one person and then they mention somebody, or they have them on their page, and then I go to that person because something that they said really impacted me, and then I'm listening to them and they mention somebody else, and so basically i I followed this the web of the community, and I have been um, treated with kindness. I have been treated with acceptance. And I haven't really talked to anybody or anything like that. It's just like comments, just it's so welcoming. Then that's impacted me a lot. Um, because I feel like this might be a space for my weird ass butt to fit. And that it's a good feeling. So thank you for that. Um, so that's how the witchcraft occult community has impacted me. What are some of the dangers of the current phenomenon of capitalizing off the witchcraft community? Dangers? Well, fake products, basically. Because I work with crystals, every once in a while I'm like, well, let me try this company and see what it is. I can't tell you how many fake crystals I have gotten. Like, just like they, you know, try to write it off like, oh, this is a citrine point. And I get it. I'm like, this is not citrine. Just, it's not even heated or pressurized quartz. It's I don't know how they do it, but it's fake. Um, and I think there's a lot of people out there that are just in it for the money and they don't care about the quality. Now, with my magic rocks, when I get all of these crystals that I have up, I'm going to be expanding and I'm going to be doing small businesses that I have researched and trust and whatever, um, to add to my site and be able to make my magic rocks be kind of a community site of products that I really enjoy myself and that I trust and all that. And like candles, I want them to be pet safe because obviously my life is very much in the animal world, especially domestic animals. And there's a lot of scents out there, and there's a lot of candles and fake synthetics that could kill your cat or kill your, it's more so cats than dogs, but that can really impact their health. So I want to make sure that, the products are, animal safe as well. So that's kind of how I think that capitalism that has really, like, the dangers of that is just people. It's back to that grifters question. There are people who are just in it to make money. They see the rise in the interest and they go, let me try to, you know, create a product and try to, get money from these people. And I think that's in every space. It's not just the occult space. But since there's been a rise um in witchy content, I think there's a lot of people that are trying to jump on the bandwagon to kind of skim off the top, if you know what I mean. And I think that's the biggest danger. Again, the intuition and discernment. Those are most important. You have to have discernment and you have to use your intuition. Um, and like me, you go to a company, buy a small order, see what the quality's like, and go from there. Um, and I do, I know it's kind of hard to find stuff that's not made in China. Um, but the last few years, there are more fake things coming out of China. But I don't know, because when I used to make jewelry back in like 2010 to 2015, um, when I bought my gems for my jewelry, Chinese gems were like top of the line. They were like machine drilled. They were beautiful, high quality stuff. And now, if something comes from China, it's like you have to be careful. You either have to spend it, well, I mean, well, no, I'm not even say that. It's just like the stuff is fake. It's just really fake. Like I don't, or they're not sustainable, or they're using slave labor. It's horrible. And I think those are the dangers of capitalism. I think luckily there's a shift back to more sustainable stuff, and there's a shift back to um, people taking more pride in what they create and what they put on the market. I mean, outside of the big box stuff, but if something is not made in China, right there, to me, it's already a level up in sustainability because they're not using slave labor to create it. So, um, yeah, so those are the dangers of capitalism, especially in the witchy space. Um, have I been personally affected by this or witnessed somebody else who's been affected? Well, yeah, I've been affected by getting fake crystals. Yeah, that's not exactly something, as a crystal witch, as somebody who works with crystals daily. Yeah, that's just, oh man, I got so frustrated when I got that order, and at least 3 of the stones that I got were fake. I was just like, this is just not cool. So yes, I have been affected. I don't know too many other people who have talked about how they're affected by it. Um, outside of somebody buying a shirt or a dress and it comes out and it's like nothing what it looked like in the picture. That's I mean, I think everybody's had something like that. Um, but yeah, I've been affected by it. Mainly with the crystals because I don't really buy that much, um but I'm trying to make a concerted effort to not buy things that are made in China. Um, and that helps me save money too. So there's that. Um, should there be paywalled communities and online courses? Of course. I mean, if you're self-employed and you're trying to make this a thing, well, yeah, of course. Um, I don't like it when people will tease you, and you see this in the spiritual communities where they'll tease you with like a 15-minute video and just give you that just enough, but then you have to go beyond a paywall to get the rest of it. I think that's manipulation. I don't like that. That's people specifically trying to create FOMO. But if you're already giving a lot of free stuff away, yeah, why not? I mean, if you're designing your own grimoire pages and your own, you know, medications and stuff like that, yeah, put it behind a paywall. You don't have to share that with everybody. Um, so yeah, I think and of course if you put the time into an online course, you should be paid for your time of putting that together. Like that's just like I'm a big believer that if you put the time in, you should get paid for that time. Um, especially when it's something like a course or when it's something like, a half hour meditation that you want to give to your patrons for a special little thing. If you're designing grimoire pages that take time to design on a computer, you should get paid for that. So yeah, I think paywalled communities and online courses should be around, but I don't think that it should be used as a tool to create FOMO in people so you make more money, if that makes any sense. How does one ensure the authenticity of courses, workshops, memberships, etc., as a financial investment? Get to know the people who create the courses first. That is probably my biggest advice. Being burned at the tune of $7,500 by somebody. I just never say her name. I just call her she who must not be named. Um, yeah, get to know the person first. And if they don't let you get to know them, then don't give them your money. Because authenticity is what should be the reason why you pay for a course. You have to trust the person. You just have to. Um, don't just trust any old smo with your money. Like, just don't. Like, follow their content. Look at what they're giving out for free. Look at how they treat their followers, their subscribers. Are they ignoring them? Are they really kind to them in the comment section and stuff like that? Do they seem sincere about the work they do? Or are they just, doing these manipulative videos to get you to, what I'm saying? Like there's a certain level of, I mean, I understand marketing. Like there is that little piece that you want people to want more. I get that. But I mean, my my experience comes from the spirituality world. And I already mentioned that there's a lot of people out there that use manipulative marketing to make money. And they don't walk their talk. And it's just, it's crap, basically. Most of it's crap. You might get like one useful thing out of a 6-week course, but you're spending $2,000 for it. It's like, what? No. But you know, I think it's also like, all right, I'm trying to get my thoughts together here. It depends on what you're offering in a sense too. It's not like everybody should be giving so many things for free. Now, because I have an issue with bringing in money and abundance into my personal life, it all goes to my husband. Um, I don't have the experience of having people give me money, a lots of money to help them. Am I worth it? Heck yeah, I'm worth it. Are you going to get quality if you hire me to mentor you and consult and all that? Of course you are. Um, but I don't know. I give a lot of stuff away for free. Do I always want to give things away for free? No. But I don't think I'll be much different if I do have people paying for my services. I just, for me personally, since I'm just a talking head, this is helpful to me. So I'm not trying to get anything from anybody. This is helpful to me. And so I guess case by case, creator by creator, I mean, you gotta use your own judgment and use your discernment, but just don't try to manipulate people. That's, I think that's the problem I have. That's the problem. And so you need to get to know the person before you give them like a bunch of money. That's somehow not personally, you don't necessarily, but you have to use your discernment. You have to see if they're worth it because they're not the prize, you are. So they have to earn your money. You don't just give it to them freely. Does that make sense? I keep saying, does that make sense? But yeah, so that is the last topic. Now, here are the conclusions. Um, First question, what are some topics of conversation that you'd like to see more of, or I'd like to see more of in our community? Oh, I I don't know. I mean, maybe I know there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but like lately, there's been a couple people who are neurodivergent, just like me. And when they share things that work for them, that's really helpful. Um, Now I know there's plenty of neurotypical people out there that are doing witchy content, but I think there needs to be more. Mm, I don't know, dealing with mental health, like in a way that doesn't expose ourselves or whatever, but is helpful to help other people who are struggling with things get through it. More mentorship, I guess maybe, because I struggle. I'm a neophyte, even though all of the people I follow are very helpful in a lot of ways. There are things that I struggle with that I don't know how to get through. I don't know without paying for a reading, which I'm not opposed to. I have a couple people in my head that I would like to pay for their services when I have the money, but um I don't know. I think more more supportive things. I mean, we're saturated with a lot of beginner witches stuff. And I get it. It's helpful to me since I am a beginner. Um, and I think that there's so much content that's different but similar. And people like myself, I'm sure there's plenty of people like me out there that are just learning and that are having issues with um, blocks with dealing with um, I don't want to say identity things, but it's like one of my biggest things is because I mean I still consider myself Christian because I've never had religious trauma. Never been I mean my my upbringing has been extremely beneficial to me and I am extremely grateful for it. So and I'm still kind of that. That being said, um I have a problem because of my upbringing with the word witch and stepping into that fully because of my conditioning, because of the lies and the stuff that you hear in many, many places. I think everybody's a witch to some degree. It's just a matter of whether you practice or not. That's the whole divine humanist thing. So it's not that I don't believe I am, it's calling myself that. And that's something that I think maybe some of the creators here may have dealt with that when they started their journey. And learning more about that might be helpful for me. Anybody who's dealt with ADHD, I know there's I know there's a lot of witches that I follow that deal with ADHD, and only a couple people have actually touched on it. It's really hard when you're dealing with, say ADHD paralysis, which I've been dealing with for the majority of this past year. Sometimes I don't know how to get out of it. I don't know how to use spells and use this new world to help me with that. Unless it's on Pinterest or something like that. And you can't always trust things from Pinterest. I mean, yeah, you can use your discernment and your intuition, but I think the one part of content that I'm missing in the witchy space is more mentor support. If that I don't know if that's coming out well. I'm not saying like one-on-one support. I'm not saying like I need you to talk to me specifically and help me out. No, I'm just talking about, we all deal with mental health at different times. We all deal with some type of neurodivergence. Even neurotypical people sometimes have to deal with depression and frustration and stuff like that. I just think there needs to be more of content to help, I don't know, sharing of how did you get through that? Like what was an obstacle in your life and how did you get through it? And you don't have to get detailed. You don't have to sit there and wear your heart on your sleeve or whatever, but I think that would be helpful. I just think, like we need witch moms. It's kind of like, people who want to see the community grow healthfully. Is that a word? Healthfully? I don't know. But, and, we're a small community in this little corner of YouTube, and there's so much camaraderie already. And I mean, I sound like I'm like begging for people to like, okay, here's what imposter syndrome's coming in. Like, help me, please. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a lot of educational stuff, which is wonderful, which is great. There's a lot of talking head stuff, which is awesome, which is great. But I don't know. I think we need to be hands-on with our mental health because I think it's important for us in this space to know how to be centered and to know how to come back to center when needed so we can get to the work of being witches. Does that make I know I say that a lot. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense and I'm just rambling now. So I'm just gonna move on. But hopefully some of you guys out there will know what I'm saying. The second question, I think I answered that. What are my community needs? I just said that. As the next question, I've already talked about that. Where would I like to be held and supported? where do I feel like I'm not truly being seen by community? I don't think that question really fits me because I'm new. I have 39 people following me. So I don't expect to be visible. I don't expect to be seen, at least not yet. Um, would it be nice? Yeah, everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to grow. Um, but I I think I don't think that question really appeals to me because I don't. Where do I feel? I'm too little of a channel to even worry about that. Um, I'm just looking for a place to be a talking head, get my thoughts out because there's a lot up here, and find a community. That's pretty much all I'm looking for. Um, and I think I've already been seen by some of the people that I respect, so that's a good thing, right? How can we help each other in removing the external peer pressure and grow in community? I just think we just keep making the networks. I just think, you know, that web that I follow, I just think we just need to follow each other and just be be a solid community because I think if we can become a solid community, I think collectively we can do lots of magic together. Um, so I think that's how we um, help each other by becoming a solid community and raising our voices and doing the work that our ancestors used music, yeah, our magic for. Um, and maybe we can help heal the planet. Maybe we can help heal each other. Maybe we can help heal ourselves. And I think that's where I think that's what we need to do is we just all need to follow each other and create this big solid community. How can we as a community come together more with constructive criticism without it seeming shady, passive, or aggressive? Uh, I don't know. I think everybody that I have seen, like I said, has been accepting and helpful and kind. Um, I haven't met any aggression. Again, tiny little channel. Um, I haven't met anything. I think if we treat each other with respect, there shouldn't be any aggression. I just and again, I think um if we can just understand that we're all at different levels, and I think we do, um, we're all we all know different degrees. Some of us are new, some of us have been doing it for 30 years. I mean, I there shouldn't be any aggression. And if I find aggression, then I will disconnect myself from whoever's being aggressive. But I think if we all come to it with a respect and just I don't know, I just think, being supportive, that whole community. Um, and as we can get tighter and tighter and tighter, then we don't need aggression. There's not going to be any aggression because the good will outweigh the bad. That's how I see that. And of course, if you respect somebody, any constructive criticism or feedback will be accepted if you respect the person you're giving it to. All right, got two more questions here, and then we're done. We're done. We've been going for a really long time. So again, if you needed to stop and come back, put me on 1.5 or whatever, go ahead. It's okay. Last two questions. Who are some of the community members that I look up to and that are reliable sources and inspirations? Everybody I follow. Let me see. There's Ivy the Occultist, Redheaded Witch, the Polish Witch. I'm still learning her. Ella Harrison, the Green Witch, Lady Starfire, Wolfsbane Witch, Lennon Smith, Trish at Beanbag Hagwag. I don't even know if I can name all of them. The Chaotic Witch Ant, Olivia the Witch of Wonderlust. Should I go on? I think we all follow or at least a lot of you guys follow these people. They're very inspiring, and and I enjoy their content. And it's all different, and I get to see a lot of different things. I get to see different styles of witchcraft. I get to see, um, whether the witch's cookery. Oh my gosh, Beck, she's cool. Bex is cool. I think she's the one I first. I think she's one of the first channels I started following. But yeah, I haven't come across I mean, and there's many more that I follow. I tend to follow a lot of you guys. If you have somebody I do collaborations or whatever, I'll check you guys out and then I follow you and all that stuff. So yeah, those are the community members that I look up to and that I think are reliable sources. I haven't really come across anybody that I mean, I still don't know a lot about a lot of the people I follow, but I have not seen why you wouldn't be reliable, at least not yet. So that's cool. That's good. I like it. I'm enjoying it. All right, last question. Further thoughts and comments of my own. I don't know. I think I answered all that. I mean, I don't think I have any further comments or any prompt questions. I think I did it. I think I did it all. I think that's all I wanted to say. So I'm sorry if this is really, really long, but it was a big tag. And it's meant to create conversation, and hopefully my perspective and my view and my answers may help some of you guys. Thank you to Joanna and Ella and Leah for doing this collaboration and opening up to everybody to do it. It was fun listening to Lennon's rant earlier, and I hope to see more of you guys doing the hashtag occult. So if I entertained you at all, give me a like. I would love that. Subscribe. I'm really big into building community. So I'm enjoying the community so far, and I'd love to make my own little personal community and be able to reach out and talk to and communicate more with a lot of you guys. So subscribe, like, all the things. And I'll be here eventually. I don't have a schedule or anything like that. My next video will probably be a heavy video. But I'm gonna try to keep it like confident and not and compassionate and all of that. So hopefully that will be coming, within the next week or two. Hopefully, now that I'm not as sick anymore. I mean, I'm still a little congested, but 2 weeks, losing 2 weeks of my life. It's just not fun. But thanks again. I will, like I said, I'll put all the videos that I've watched so far in the description box. And I think I think you can get the prompts. I'll link Joanna's Instagram where you can get the main tags, and then Ella has a public Patreon post that has all of the questions listed down. So if you want to do it, I'll leave those down below as well. So I'm looking forward to watching all you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and walk in love and light. And I will see you